Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girls Duo Cup. My name is Matt, and I'm here with
Amy Saika, better known as Amy. How are we going tonight?
We are doing really good. This is a really hyped up tournament. We have our first match up, Clams Casino versus Giraffe Journey. To start off, Rainmaker Humpback. What do you think of that map?
Rainmaker Humpback's really interesting, especially pushing first check on the left side. It's a really big choke to get through. You're going to need a lot of specials to push through for that check.
And going into these two teams, starting off with round one, and I believe we are going into double elim after this. So this is going to be really, really exciting. Yes, it is Nat Majora. So I think this is definitely going to be a really hyped up set. Even just to start off, even like the first set, you're going into this and you're like, are we going to win? Are we going to lose? It's going to be really exciting. And
really preparing for your matches. And
exactly.
Here we go.
Going into this, we see the comps coming out.
Solid comp from Clams Casino. Almost identical comps coming out, minus a splash from from Clams Casino.
Right away, we see Giraffe Journey pop that Rainmaker and take out the 2-tech and the Charge Slasher, and the knock goes down. And that's going to be a quick checkpoint for Giraffe Journey starting off this set strong. And we do see Pain on that splash, trying to distance the members of Clan Casino away from that Rainmaker. They have the tactical, they're picking up that Rainmaker again. It's just 30 seconds into the match. Another one goes down there. And that's going to be huge points for Giraffe Journey going right in. Is this that go remaining?
They're pushing it. This is it.
That's a wipeout, and that's the game.
A knockout in, under 40 seconds there. That was insane. Barely any specials used there. A whale to help push the Rainmaker through. No crabs, no nothing. They had an instant domination over mid with that pop, taking out 3 players. That was a rush.
I think that was the fastest game I've commentated. If we didn't even get a minute to see what was going on, not even a minute in the match, I was going to talk about the comps. I was going to talk about more. But no, Giraffe Journey does not want to give us time, and they're just rushing in. They're not wasting any time. They want to win this set.
They're going in quick and aggressive, and we saw it there. It'll be interesting to see how this zones match goes for Clam Casino. Will they be able to meet the aggression that we've just seen from Giraffe in an instant? Taking hold of the stacks here, important. They're going to have to use their specials wisely and keep note of that aggression that Clams has punched through. How do you feel about Mako zones? For me, it's one of my favorites.
I think this is like one of the top Splatoon 2 maps, and in Splatoon 3, it's not anything different. I mean, it's when you're going into a map like Mako, you've got the flank routes, which not many Splatoon 3 maps have. So
that's right.
It really helps out. You have a lot of cover and a lot of area to charge up specials. And I think going into this game, it's gonna last longer than the first game. I can promise y'all that. Draft Journey, they can KO all they want, but this match is gonna be longer than the first one. I know that for sure. But Clams Casino
can go back and forth. Definitely go back and forth, especially with zones and playing neutral. But you can get locked out into your plat quite easily if they're able to hold mid, which we saw in Humpback Rainmaker. They're able to dominate mid in an instant. So, Clams could get stuck on their plat trying to push out. So, it could be another knockout for Giraffe here.
Yeah, and as long as Clams Casino, you gotta coordinate those specials, get those really good 2v1 picks, and if they can do that, then they can definitely lock out as well. So going into the second match, Draft Journey is definitely not going to give them an easy time, but Clams Casino, they can play this well, they can take game 2, and game 3 would just be anyone's game at that point.
Indeed. Some quick notes on Mako zones. Important areas to hold here is definitely your two stacks on the left and right. Your own stack and pushing forward into their stack and holding. You get great angle if you have a backline onto their plat. But again, that sneaky flank route could end in demise if you're not careful too.
Yeah, so they gotta watch each other's back. That's what's really gonna help them in this next game. And Giraffe Journey, as long as they can keep those coordinated attacks, they can do really well in this game. But both teams need to just be careful, make sure they have each other's back, get those picks, get whatever they need. There's that match point that I love so much. I love whoever made that. And we do see a heavy spotlight coming out from the side of Clams Casino. And we do see an Expo and Rapid coming out from Giraffe Journey.
Rapid. They're experimenting out. They do have that carbon, so that T-Tech is going to have to paint a whole bunch for their team, being its main painter here. We already see the roller going for their stack, capping it very quickly, getting a flank on that T-Tech. Clams is already down 2 players. That gal is trying to hold desperately to try and push that stack, but goes down to the roller. And we see Giraffe pushing up already into their space, taking the line.
Now they're in a really good position. We see this Rapid getting those really good picks on the players of Clams Casino. The heavy goes down as well. The Rapid really just not letting them in that mid area at all.
Shot.
And again, there they are.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for Clams to use their specials together here to take back mid. They've only got 30 seconds left to do it. They're already down 2 players.
And there.
Giraffe is just dominating mid again. There's no space for Clams to get in whatsoever. As Heavy going down to the inkjet, popped out by Chino here. Getting... That's game
the game.
Like I said. They had a immediate lockdown on mid there. That roller flanking through their stack, getting the 2 picks on the Heavy and the T-Tech, left their gal who was attacking their stack defenseless without any like backup from that Heavy. So they just couldn't break out. Congratulations, Giraffe Journey.
And I mean, that's going to be a great set to lead Giraffe Journey later into this tournament. And just, we saw how well they were doing on those knockouts. You're pushing in, especially that Rapid was able to get so many good picks on the other players. And it just kind of really staggered Clams Casino, and they couldn't make up a coordinated push. And as the time was ticking down, you're getting desperate, and then that's when the feeding happens, and they just kind of fed into that Rapid, and that really allowed Giraffe Journey to just take down on that score and take that KO. And we saw even that happen in game 1, where, the Rainmaker popped, and already 2 of them were down. They knew 2 of them were down, and they were like, okay, that's our cue. And they immediately rush in, and that's what it's really good. The second you see somebody go down, that's your chance to push, and that's what Giraffe Journey really used to their advantage. Just being super, super aggro really helped them in these 2 games. Just 2-0ing over Clams Casino, making sure they were just as aggressive as possible, getting whatever picks that they can. That's what they needed.
Indeed, they knew their advantages from the get-go. Having players down, having paint on the map, it's an easy way to take advantages and deny space of the other team. Other team was scrambling a little bit, like you said, feeding at the end there on on Mako zones. And even on Rainmaker Humpback, they were a little bit like, they knew they had players down and they were like, oh, I don't know, like, where do we go from here, right? But it's very important, I think, on defense is that, okay, you've got space to paint in your base. Even if they're hanging around check, it's important you don't drop in without actually having something to face them with. Otherwise, you end up like the zones Mako game where you're just feeding at the end and you don't have a solidified push.
And you can see we got some other as round 1 is slowly coming to a close. We got a lot of 2-0 sets happening overall in the bracket. We see Lightbox going 2-0 over Tool and Jump Scare. The Goofy Oz going 2-0 over Vegas Squared. Baby Grizz going 2-0 over Pepsi Woman. 2 one-hit wonders going 2-0 over Double Date, and a lot more happening.
Oh, we've just had another one come in, SNGS. I wonder what SNGS stands for.
I do.
A lot of 2-0s, yeah, definitely. It looks like we're having a lot of, dominant
Really
teams come through, and it'll be interesting once we see those teams go up against each other, if it'll be, met head to head, or if one will take over or not. But Giraffe Journey's definitely set a pace for themselves for the rest of the tourney here. It'll be interesting.
Even live, I'm just seeing all these games updating. French domination happening right now. We see them going 2-0. There's a lot of 2-0s going on the board, and I think later on, again, as you said before, with these teams, when these big like aggressive teams get put up against each other, are they going to play slower? Are they going to try to play fast? And it's really just up to when the game starts for the players to really decide.
If they keep trying to keep up the fast pace, they might get punished in the fact that players will go down and they'll end up like against a 3v4, which might give the team that decides to play a little bit slower the actual advantage in pushing forward. So it'll be important to read what the enemy team is doing. Are they going to rush in? Can you cope with that? Or are they both going to play slow, and we're going to see a little bit more of a, I want to say mellow, but I don't feel good saying mellow against like these aggressive teams we're seeing. So it'll be an interesting watch for sure. Oh yeah, so Matt, I believe their name is Baby Girls, not Baby Grizz. Or Grills, Baby Grills.
Wait, did I really look at that wrong?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, now I just feel stupid. I'm sorry. And I see them. I see them in the chat. I'm sorry.
You see a mistake to make.
Bro, I was.
Hey! Look,
just glancing over it.
I wouldn't mind seeing some Baby Grills in Samuron. Like little version of the grillers, right? Like, get rid of the small fries and give us some like little grillers going behind.
Little ankle biters.
Ankle biter grillers.
And they still one shot you. They will. Now you gotta like really watch out. Yeah.
The struggle will be real. So our next maps we're heading into is Clan Blitz on Scorch Gorge, TC, Inkblot Art Academy, and Rainmaker and Eeltail Alley. What are your thoughts about those maps, Matt? It's a stuttering fest over here.
Yeah. So see, I mean, Clan Blitz, Scorch Gorge, I think that's probably the best mode you can put on Scorch Gorge. I think it's really balanced. The players, they gotta take control of that tower in the middle. If you have control, you can really just paint over mid, get that paint you need, and that really helps your clan economy because you have more room to move around, more space to build super clams, and just try to get the enemies out of there. And tower control Inkblot, we've seen this a lot in Splatoon 3 and in Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 favorite, definitely. It's a great map. I think it's it's an interesting map for TC because you really need to make sure you're taking control of their bats in your second to third check push. Otherwise, you have no height advantage pushing that tower, that extra check through. And I always like doing the little flank on the step is a really key play that you can take to kind of distract maybe a Hydra or a heavy looking at tower to give your teammates some cover. Indeed.
Sometimes they don't even expect it. Sometimes, you get used to people going there, so you're like, oh yeah, they're not going to take that route anymore. Oh, oops, there they are.
Yeah. It's that last second when you're like, I'm okay, I'm fine, and then you look behind you and there's a stamper out the corner of your eye, and you're like,
oh crap.
Goodness, yeah. I've made a mistake
I've been a victim to that.
And Rainmaker Eeltail, I feel like you can get a really easy push to first check, but it's that first check to KO that takes the longest to push through. Like, I don't think going across glass unless they're all wiped out is your best decision. I'm a fan of dropping down, but if you have the specials to back you up, it's also good. But definitely different ways you can go through that map there with Rainmaker.
So I think we have just a little more time until we move on to round 2. So I think we're going to take a short break as we're waiting for a few more rounds to end. And we will be back for round 2 shortly.
See you soon.